What's going on, loved ones? I want to thank y'all for joining me today over here at Concerning Our Reality. And we have some concerning things, some very concerning things I want to show y'all. And if y'all right here with me right now, y'all concerned as well. And I'm just going to show y'all.
USA friends are reporting a higher number of ticks than usual. Alpha-gal syndrome, a red meat allergy, is transmitted by Lone Star ticks. Mr. Gates has funded research into genetically modified cattle ticks. It is not confirmed that Mr. Gates has funded research into genetically modified Lone Star ticks, but if you're interested in one, might you not be interested in the other? Mr. Gates has funded and supported Upside Foods, which is a lab-grown meat production company. But don't worry, there's no way that somebody who's already genetically modified a species of tick would ever be interested in doing the same with another species of tick in order to create a global allergy to red meat, which would then conveniently funnel demand into their brand new funded lab-grown meat company. Now, come on, don't be silly. Look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this company. Look at all the wonderful bright colours and the lovely happy smiling faces. I mean, come on, it's a lab-grown meat company. I mean, it definitely wouldn't be the guy who, and I quote, said if we do a really great job with vaccines, healthcare and reproductive services that we could lower the population by 10 to 15%. Absolutely not that guy. I mean, come on, he's the computer guy. I mean, the bioengineering scientist. I mean, the World Health Advisor.
Wow.
Oh no, I mean the guys in Burkina Faso have literally just stopped in their country from producing genetically modified mosquitoes. But hey, it's all just a conspiracy, okay? But being serious, it is time for humanity to rise up. If the good men and women of our world were given a chance to live sovereign and free on our lands to bring up our children, we would take care and tend to our world. Of this, I have absolutely no doubt. Take care of yourselves out there. I love you all. See you in the next video.
Man, see, this been a thing with me. I've been a picky eater my whole life. So when I be running across these videos,
scientists have been growing real meat in laboratories using animal cells. No farms, no animals, just cells, multiplied in massive steel tanks. And all this shit has been approved because of this fucking guy right here. Bill Gates has invested millions into this technology, pushing for a future where meat do not come from farms no more. Once this shit starts to happen, how are you gonna know if you're eating lab meat or you're eating meat from a cow? Some states is already pushing back from this, like Texas and Florida, banning lab-grown meat due to concerns about the food supply. This technology is gonna keep moving forward. The future where real meat growing in factories might be closer than we think. No one's gonna be able to tell the difference. So the question is, when you order your next burger, would you want to know where it actually came from? Let me know in the comments.
Okay, so these
gotta have great discernment, people.
And these are from a local farm. See the difference?
Two different sizes, two different things.
The store from the farms.
That's disturbing.
The bottom of the container, and it turns your hard-earned money into mold and rotten fruit. The first step is just getting them out of those containers right when you get home. Then give them a vinegar and baking soda bath. Let them sit in that for 10 to 15 minutes. Pull out the strainer, set it aside, and dump out the dirty water. It's so gross. Give them a rinse to get the vinegar off, and then here is where the magic happens. The old containers caused the problem because your produce sat in pooled water. These containers are specifically designed with a strainer, which makes fruit super easy to clean, but it also allows extra water to escape up the bottom. And these feet keep it elevated so your produce is never sitting trapped in moisture. That is exactly what keeps your produce fresh for so much longer. These have saved me so much money in the long run, but since it is a trend that's going around, they have been selling out pretty fast. Make sure to...
Explosive diarrhea is spreading, and if you haven't heard by now, you will. This outbreak has gotten a lot worse. What started as about 150 cases in southeastern Michigan has exploded to nearly 1,300, making it the largest outbreak in the state's history. About 40 people have been hospitalized.
Be careful, my Michiganders.
Investigators are now tracking similar illness clusters in more than 24 other states. New York has been hit hard with dozens sickened. Illinois has its own growing cluster. And just across Michigan's border in Ohio, hundreds more have gotten sick. Now, let's talk more about washing your produce, because there's important nuance here. Yes, keep washing everything, but it's worth understanding what washing can and cannot do against this particular parasite. The FDA puts it plainly. Rinsing or washing food is not likely to remove Cyclospora. The parasite has a tough outer shell that clings to tiny crevices on fresh produce, and it can resist water and even chemical sanitizers. The only thing that reliably kills it is heat. Cooking, not rinsing. So why do health officials still tell us to wash produce? Well, because it reduces risk. It just doesn't eliminate it. Think of washing as one layer of protection, not a guarantee. A top CDC official says these investigations can take months and sometimes never pin down an exact source. The parasite can't even be grown in a lab, which makes tracing it back to one farm or supplier incredibly hard. Now, past outbreaks have been linked to things like raspberries, cilantro, basil, and bad salad dates. Here's something our colleague Dr. Celine Gounder has been digging into. She reports that the FDA quietly suspended a quality control program last year that checks whether its own labs can accurately detect contaminants in food, including the test for spotting cyclospora on produce like spinach. The reason? Staffing cuts. And that pause stretched right through last year's cyclosporiasis season. Dr. Gounder also found there's no federal rule requiring growers to test their produce or water for this parasite at all. When she asked the FDA directly whether that lab check is running again this summer, the agency didn't say. So here's the updated advice. Wash your produce, yes. Scrub firm items like melons and cucumbers with a clean brush. Refrigerate anything cut or peeled as soon as possible. But if you want true peace of mind with high-risk produce this summer, cook it. And if you've got watery diarrhea that won't quit, don't wait it out. See a doctor and ask specifically for cyclospora testing. It's not usually life-threatening, and it is treatable. This outbreak isn't slowing down, neither should your guard. Explosive diarrhea is spreading, and if you haven't heard by now, you will. This outbreak has gotten...
People, this is very concerning. Like, we have to take care of ourselves because the government, they don't care about us. We clearly seeing that time after time by the lies and everything else they continue to do. So it's up to us to take our power in our own hands and practice our discernment in everything and question everything, because if we don't, they'll feed us anything, literally, as we see right now. That's sad.
A lot worse. What started as about 150 cases in southeastern Michigan has exploded to nearly 1,300, making it the largest outbreak in the state's history. About 40 people have been hospitalized. And it's not just Michigan anymore. Investigators are now tracking similar illness clusters in more than 24 other states. New York has been hit hard with dozens sickened. Illinois has its own growing cluster. And just across Michigan's border in Ohio, hundreds more have gotten sick. Now, let's talk more about washing your produce, because there's important nuance here. Yes, keep washing everything, but it's worth understanding what washing can and cannot do against this particular
I mean, double y'all up like that.
Puts it plainly. Rinsing or washing food is not likely to remove cyclospora.
That's disturbing. Like, that's very disturbing. Let's check Girly out.
Clusters in Michigan, where nearly 1,000 people have been diagnosed in a 2-week period. People can be infected by consuming food or water that contains the parasite. And currently, we don't know the source of the outbreak. Previous outbreaks have been linked to foods like salad mixes, fresh cilantro, raspberries, and green onions. Experts recommend thoroughly washing greens, cooking produce when possible, and removing outer layers of lettuce and green onions. No deaths from the recent infections have been reported in the US. An explosive diarrhea parasite is spreading across the United States. Here's everything you need to know.
Well, this story really blew up, no pun intended. Remember that parasite outbreak that's been sending people running to the bathroom? Well, there are now more cases here in Florida, and trust me, this is not your average upset stomach. We're
nationwide now.
Of watery diarrhea. It started in Michigan, with hundreds of people, and now health officials report 50 cases of cyclosporiasis in Florida since May, including 6 people in Miami-Dade and 5 in Broward. So what exactly is it? Cyclospora is a parasite that's often linked to contaminated fresh produce. A doctor told me that they see this every summer. Symptoms can include weeks of stomach cramps, bloating, nausea, loss of appetite, and fatigue. The good news: no deaths have been reported. The bad news, investigators say it could take a week after eating the food that had the parasite on it to get symptoms. So give those fruits and vegetables an extra good scrub. Well, this story really blew up, no pun intended. Remember that parasite outbreak that's been sending people running to the bathroom? Well, there are
I think that's all I have for right now. But as you know, there's so much going on. Like, as you just probably seen, I'm multitasking. I'm putting together some more concerning things that I think you guys need to see firsthand. and I'm trying to get it to you ASAP. But I want to thank you all from locking in with me, man, during this journey. It's been interesting, and I'm very grateful and thankful for all of you. And I ain't gonna keep y'all no longer. Have a blessed day. Peace.